Well, hello there, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's so great to have you here with me today. I want to talk to you about manifesting and in a specific pocket of manifesting where we can talk about really what's holding you back from stepping fully into your future desired life, your future desired state. What is it that's the barrier, really? What's blocking you from where you are now to where you want to be? Why does it feel like there's such a gap? Or why do you feel like you get so close sometimes and then it just leaves you? Have you ever felt that way before? I certainly have. And it took me a while to figure out what really was happening that would keep me on this roller coaster of success and high paying clients. And I feel organized, I feel mentally sharp, right? It's not even just the physical things that I wanted to manifest, such as clients and money and being able to have sold out retreats or sold out workshops, etc. But it also was I wanted to manifest the energy or the mindset of my future self, which was being calm and clear headed and discerning. So we don't always just need to manifest the physical things. We often want to manifest the sort of mental or energetic qualities that is of our desired state. So, how is it that I suddenly was seeing all those things and then 1 or 2 months later, it was like no man's land and I'm hearing crickets? And my bank account wasn't reflecting that too. And to be completely honest with you, I still to this day can be caught up a little bit in those gaps. And I am experimenting even right now, right along with you, with really powerful manifesting tools and techniques that I've shelved, right? I haven't been into manifesting fully since last year when I was teaching MMM, which is my Manifesting Mastery membership. It's going to be opening again after the new year. So keep your eyes open. This will be the third year that I teach it. It's so powerful, so transformative. But I recently caught myself like, wow, how can I really complain about my external situation when my internal situation is totally gone awry? Like, how can I expect anything different in my life if my internal situation isn't really looked after? If I don't really harness my thoughts, if I don't really double down on the visualization. So here I am, reinvigorated on the journey of manifesting. My business, my brand is back into the season of manifesting. I am bringing you the hottest tools right now. So let's talk about it because I have a free masterclass coming up on the 9th. You're more than welcome to join. There is lifetime access to it as well. You'll not only be getting a really awesome offer from me at the end of the masterclass to join me in future trainings, but you're going to learn how to actually close what's called the identity gap, or I refer to it as the chasm of identity. And the chasm of identity is what I just talked about. You are over here, but what you want, your desired dream life, is over here. And that there's a tension between where you are and where you want to be. And we get close, but then it also feels like the rug gets pulled out from underneath their feet and we go right back. Or we're getting closer, but all of our old habits, our old ways of thinking about the world, the old ways of thinking about ourselves, in other words, our internal mental model or paradigm, you may have heard it called, is totally screwed. Like it's not positive at all. How can you then believe that you're going to make any real progress? How can you actually believe that you can step your way easily, fluidly toward your future dream state when your internal dialogue, your internal belief system is absolutely fucked? And it's not your fault because that's usually something we're not told to look at. We're told to investigate and look at the outside world. And whatever the outside world is showing us must be true about our abilities, about where we're headed in life, about what's possible for us. But that's just not the case. Okay. So when we look at manifesting, it's not that you have to look at the outside world to determine what's possible. We're not looking for clues and symbols like that in the outside world. No, because the outside world, as you're going to see in a minute, is not the real deal. It's actually old news. Instead, we need to be looking internally. And I'm going to talk to you today about two important skills that you'll learn right now with me, but that I'm going to be going into depth even more on the 9th. Okay, November 9th, free masterclass called Being. All right. And the link is below in this video in the notes. When you're in the gap or the chasm of identity, we'll call it the gap just for short, where you're over here and what you want is over here. Okay, whether that's more money or you want a career change or you want to relocate your house or you want to find love again or purpose or just get in shape, whatever it is, there's always a starting point and then there's the ideal end point. That tension or the space in between is very exciting at first for just about 2 weeks. And then everyone freaks out because there's so much to learn. You realize and you're hit with the reality of, oh my goodness, this is going to take some time for me to change. And oh my goodness, what if I can't do it? You know what? I'm afraid to fail and I don't want anyone knowing that I failed. So let me just go ahead and back out of this one again. And we go back to our old cycle. We go back to what's comfortable, which is not being in a state of change. Let me know if this resonates. Give me a comment below in the comment section. I've been there too, you guys, and it doesn't really go away. I think that we always end up catching ourselves in a state of, oh my goodness, I'm afraid to fail because failure is scary. But what's different and what you learn how to do when you build more self-trust through these meditation, mindset, and manifesting tools that I'm going to be teaching you is you learn to pivot so much faster. So instead of staying there locked, stuck on one side of the chasm and never really able to bridge the gulf, bridge the gap, and close two sides together and become your greatest expression, we stay stuck because we are really not doing the work to train or reprogram the unconscious mind. And that's what truly needs to be done here in order for real progress and consistent progress, consistent moves ahead towards your dream life to actually occur. When we are over the honeymoon period, after the idea of what you want to achieve at the honeymoon period drops and you're left with the reality of, oh my God, I might not be able to do this, or how do I do this? What are my next steps? That's when the tension hits. And people do one of two things here. And most people, they do A, which is bail. I call this the bail zone. This is the bail zone. This is where the time under tension is so high here. Everyone feels it. They're stressed. They're worried. They're feeling the transformation start to take place. They're not sure they can handle it. They have more questions now about, can I stick with it? They're going to have questions about, what will my friends and family think? Is this really for me? Am I worthy? We focus on those things instead of the end goal, which gives us no choice really, but emotionally to bail. And once again, we go back to the beginning of where we're comfortable, which is your current now moment, which most of us, quite honestly, could level it up. We're not totally fulfilled. We're not totally satisfied. We're not absolutely happy. And we're not living our best life where we are. That's why we're watching this video. That's why you want to do this work, right? It's because you know you're destined for more. You know you're destined for greater things. And you truly are. We just need to get you to stay put when you feel that tension. And I call that moment of tension, that season of tension, as the season of development. When you learn how to stay put in this season of development, you are, well, just as the term says, developed by the tension. Just like a piece of coal is transformed into a diamond through pressure of the mountain and pressure, if you will, of time. We have coal, it becomes a diamond. That's the season of development. Boom. And finally, there's no gap. That coal has totally transformed. There's no going back to coal. It is just what it is now. You, much like the coal, have inside of you the same carbon, the same DNA, the same elements with the right pressure, with the right elements and discipline and mindset and strategy to become your own version of a diamond. Your authentic, most powerful, best life self is inside of you, just like the coal has the ability to become the diamond, just like the acorn has the ability to grow into the mighty acorn tree or the oak tree, just like the seed a fern seed becomes a mighty fern bush. The pear becomes a pear tree, pear seed. Like everything that is small to begin with inside of you has the blueprint to become the most fruitful, productive, amazing thing in your life. But you won't get there unless you stay put. But everyone around you in your life misses out on that too. Man, your friends, your family, your kids, your siblings, your significant other, your parents, your community, everyone, if you're a coach like me, your clients, your future clients, they're all missing out on some of the best teachings of their fucking life. Because what? Because you bail all the time. But it's not your fault. No one's really taught to hunker down during this particular season. No one's really taught to look out for that and to know that, hey, it's coming. And anyone who's great, anyone who you look up to, they've gone through the season of development too, but they were equipped with some tools. They knew something that you didn't. They got them through the season of development. And now they are who they are. The first thing I want you to know is that it is possible to close the gap. It is totally possible. I've done it several times in my life. I most recently did it with public speaking and motivational speaking. About 3-4 months ago, I just started really feeling the fire and the passion to want to grab the mic and be on stage. I was like, I'm going to be a motivational speaker. I'm going to be a motivational speaker. It's time. It's time. I've always been speaking in yoga studios for the past 2 decades. I've been speaking like this on YouTube, like no problem with speaking. And of course, facilitating workshops, etc. I have time on the mic, but not really with the mic in my hand, like legit motivational speaking. This is where I want to go, I said. And so right there, I was on one side of the gap, but I knew specific strategies, specific mindset, energetic, manifesting tools that would help me close the gap. Because what has to happen is not just that I get better at speaking, although that's important. Not that I know mic etiquette, how to bring the mic in away and follow your mic around, even though that's important. It's not that I needed to learn eye contact and how to work the stage and move around, although that's important. It's not that I needed to learn more skills, because you can learn that anywhere. And we all know people who have a lot of skills in the thing they're titled as, but they feel like an imposter, right? And maybe you even feel that way too. It's definitely possible to have all of the skills in a thing and not own the thing. So we're not after more skills here. When we say close the identity gap, to cross over that chasm of identity, what we're really talking about is we need to own the identity of who you want to become. The real ownership of the identity of your future desired state, of your future desired self, is who we need to call in now and own that shit. The faster you can own and identify with your new identity, the faster you can close that gap, the faster you will become and act and walk and talk and collect money and go out there and be who you want to be as your new future self. Closing the gap is essential. When you're just them, it's like you've crossed the line in the sand. Energetically, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, you are 100% that bitch, right? There's no going back. There's no wavering. So back to my story, I had to start calling myself a motivational speaker. The words you use, initiate. I was afraid to say I'm a motivational speaker. I was afraid to call myself that because what I thought was I had to be doing it first in order for someone then to go, yeah, you should call yourself a motivational speaker. But I did it the opposite. I actually started to call myself a motivational speaker before I've ever done a motivational talk, before I was ever booked to be on stage as, say, a keynote. So it was really bold for me and kind of scary and seemed backwards. But I knew and I believed 100% that the words we use, the names we call ourselves, how we think about ourselves internally is the game to play. I can't wait for some opportunity to come before I call myself the thing I want to be. Do you feel that? You can't wait for the opportunity in life to show up first before you start naming yourself. The words are initiation. The words pull you forward into who you're meant to be. So what is it that you want to be? Just say it. You can say it. And actually, you can put it right below this video in the comment section. I would so freaking love to read it and just celebrate you and give you all the love and refer to you as that thing, because honestly, that's what reinforces and adds emotion. And there's a couple other reasons you want to publicly declare things that we're not going to get into in this video, but do yourself a favor, be bold right now, initiate yourself, because no one's coming to assign you the role you want to be. You know what? And that's not their jobs. Stop assigning that role to your clients. Stop assigning that role to your significant other. Stop assigning that role to your boss. Stop. Just stop it. That's a lot of pressure on them. It's a lot of expectations. Stop pedestaling those people. Pedestal yourself. Initiate yourself. So what is it you want to be? Say it. So I started saying I'm a motivational speaker. And then you know what happened is I started to visualize myself as a motivational speaker. You see, the words brought me into the room of my mind. And now it was safe to explore and imagine and play there in my mind. I started seeing myself with the mic. I started visualizing the people, the audience. I started feeling the emotion of what it's like to speak about what I want to speak about and moving people into passion and action. And then the accolades afterwards and the applause and people wanting to connect with me and that bringing me into another. Well, do you want to know what? Within 2 months of me calling myself a motivational speaker, I was on stage keynoting. I wasn't actually supposed to keynote. I actually made a YouTube video about this and a podcast a couple videos back, because I brought myself into that opportunity on the wavelength of I am ready for anything. I am prepared. I am here because I've initiated myself. See, the external moment did not need to initiate me. So nothing was pedestaled. Nothing was more powerful than me. I initiated myself. I am her. I'm a motivational speaker. So when the keynote speaker was sick and they came to me to ask, hey, in 10 minutes, you want a keynote? Of course, I was nervous. I had my human reaction, but I said yes, because I was her. Okay, you following? Keep going on what you're doing. Don't stop. You have no idea how what you're doing right now is eventually going to prepare you for a huge moment, and you don't want to choke. Remember that season of development? Right? Like people are like, yeah, I'm sweating over here. But the people that succeed, the ones that go on to make a name for themselves, the ones that live a very happy, well-loved, well-meaning, well-purposed life are the ones that initiate themselves, the ones that call themselves what they want to be. Understand that life is a mirror. So whatever you say into the mirror gets reflected back. That's it. If you say, I'm not a good public speaker, life will just go, you're not a public speaker, correct? And here's all the evidence you're not a good public speaker. No invitations to speak. If you say, it's really hard for me to make money, that's a thought you have in your head. And you're frustrated with money. Life is just going to go, yes, you're frustrated with money and it is hard to make money. And here's the evidence. Here's more bills for you. Here's other people in your world talking about how hard it is to make money, right? Like life just gives you what you're asking for. Life reflects back your internal state. So what we're really saying here is if you want to manifest a new desirable future state, what you have to do is pay close attention to the thoughts you're having today. The thoughts you have today go into the mirror of reality and then eventually are reflected back. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more here in just a moment about why you don't necessarily want to pay attention to the reflection so much and why you want to pay more attention to your internal state as a way to keep going and not be impatient. But overall, that's the first rule. Life is a mirror. If you want more opportunity, you have to start being excited for more opportunity. If you want love, you have to start thinking about love, giving it and receiving it. If you want to be a better parent, if you want to turn around your marriage, you have to start visualizing and thinking about and saying to yourself, my marriage will turn it around and here's how, and paint that really detailed image in your mind on how it's turning around, and then feel in that detailed image how it feels. That's how you change the neurons in your brain. That's how you influence your unconscious mind. That is how we begin to close the gap of identity to become that happier, healthier, wealthier person that you want to be on the other side. Okay. So Understand the principle number one here is that life is a mirror. Whatever you're putting out is what you're getting back. Okay. So you really need to look out for it. How are you speaking about yourself? What are the words you're using? They're critical. Words initiate. You're either going to initiate yourself into a world of shit, or you're going to initiate yourself into the next level of you. I gave you my example, public speaking. Okay. In just 2 months, I turned that all around. So what could you be saying now about yourself and in just 2 months be experiencing it? Two, what are your beliefs about the world? So we don't just want to think about my beliefs about self. One of the manifesting secrets here is to think about your views of the world, because you might keep saying to yourself, I'm wealthy, I am wealthy, I'm wealthy, but externally and unconsciously, but externally, you actually feel like the world is a scarce place. And this comes up for a lot of women who have businesses of, well, she's already selling that thing, so I can't do it either. She's already doing a chakra workshop down the road at that studio. I can't do a chakra workshop. She's already used the color purple in her marketing. I can't use the color purple. Both things need to be taken care of immediately. How you feel about yourself and how you feel about the world. Okay. Now, keep in mind that there is a very specific strategy on how to open up your unconscious mind and to use a specific visualization technique in order to extract, if you will, the affirmations about yourself and the world. And then you use those affirmations in another specific way to close the gap rapidly. But we've got an unconscious mind that's running the show, and it's creating a gap, and it's keeping you stuck on one side when you really want to be over there. So we got to do a couple mindset, energetic, manifesting things to close that gap, to get you thinking about yourself differently, thinking about the world differently, understanding the principle, the mirror principle. And the last point I want to make here is this, you guys. How you doing? You loving this? Yeah, I hope so. Let me know in the comment section what your biggest takeaways are. And also don't forget to write down who it is you want to be. Call it out, initiate yourself. I can't wait to read that. The second thing I want to let you know about when it comes to manifesting, when it comes to closing the identity gap, if you are consistently waiting around for physical items to show up in order to prove to you that you are that woman you want to be, you are going to experience frustration. You are going to want to drop out of the game time and time again. Objects like cash, people are 3D in a 3D world, and the 3D world obeys certain laws of nature. So there is always, listen to this, please. There's always going to be a delay in your manifestation. Always. Now, how long of a delay? That is up to the person and life itself in that moment. I have had manifestations show up within a day before. I've also had other clients see things the next day. I have things show up 5 years later in my life, and that was the case with the first yoga studio. But I did not know what I was doing back then. Now, on average, it takes me about 1 month, sometimes less, to energetically get everything aligned, to consistently find the codes or the words to say, and then to start to see the physical response in the world around me. But I usually can turn around my life, my bank account, my energy, my attraction with clients within a month's time, which really is nothing if you think about it. If you are not aware of that, you're going to be like, oh my God, like I was, where are all the people? Where's all my money? Must be there's something wrong with me. And that's the first thing everyone does, is they think something's wrong with me. Something's wrong with my marketing. Something's wrong with my colors. My images must suck. Something's wrong with my price. All of this, the underpinning, 80% of it is energy. 80% of it, I would say, is how are you showing up? Who are you believing you can be in this moment? What do you believe about your clients? Are they always in no, like judging you mode, or are they in yes mode? What do you believe about what's possible? Are you thinking people are hating what you're delivering and they don't want it? That's why they're not buying? Or is it that they just need to hear from you a little bit more? Do you see what I'm saying? What is your view of you? What is your view of the world? And know that there is a little bit of a delay. There is a gap. I had to close the gap. That's a season of development. Most people bail. People who have strategy stay in the game. Things in the 3D world take time. So just keep hitting it. Just keep believing it. And that's what you got to do too. And I'm going to leave you with this reminder. Be devoted to the dream. Devote yourself to your dream. Be devoted to that dream. How many times can I say it? Devote yourself to your dream. What you don't want to do is be devoted to the physical objects, be devoted to people saying yes, be devoted to the symbols of success showing up, because there's a delay. And if you base your success and your self-worth on that delay, you will always be on this roller coaster. And a lot of people are. And when they're down, man, they're really down. Okay. And then you're looking at your physical world and thinking, oh, I'm no good. Remember, life's a mirror. So then you're putting that into the mirror and that's coming back. And that's how people get stuck on one side of the chasm of identity, never able to fully make it over and identify and reclaim and own their full power. It's because they stay locked in the mirror loop. Okay. So what you need to do is stay devoted to the dream. What is it you want? What is the future desired state? Stay focused on that. And as things start to slowly trickle in, pay attention to the affirming things. Yep, that makes sense. A client just messaged me. Yep, that makes sense. One person just signed up. Yep, that's what I would expect. Some money just trickled in. Do not focus on what you don't have. Because remember, life is a mirror. If you keep focusing on what you have, you'll get more of what you have. If you stay focused on the dream, which is even better than what you have, you will get more eventually of what you're dreaming of. It just takes time, because money is an object and it takes some time to call it in, right? It can't just show up in your hand like that. The idea of money in your hand like that can. The focus, the visualization of the dream state, of the creative state can show up. I can hold money, right? I'm holding tons of money in my hands right now. I can see it. I can even feel it, right? So the mind is instantaneous. That's the dream. Stay focused, stay devoted to that dream. Do not wait. Do not wait for money to show up in your hands before you say who you are, before you say what you're here to do, before you believe in yourself. Be about that mission. Stay devoted to your dream and call yourself in, initiate again and again every day through positive affirmation. So guys, I appreciate you being here so much. I deeply hope this serves you. Go out and get it. Today is your day and I will see you. Love you so much.